Okay, welcome. Today we're going to learn about quotient rule. This is a type of derivative and it falls under the heading of differential calculus. Okay, so we use this rule to take the derivative of a quotient. And here's an example of quotient rule. So we have a function f of x equals 3x plus 5 over 4x squared minus 1. And if you look here, our function is clearly a quotient. We cannot change it to a different form, so quotient rule makes the most sense. Now, here's a case where we have a quotient, but we don't want to apply quotient rule. If you look at our function in 1, we have 1 over x squared. Well, we really can just simplify that so that we can apply power rule, which is a much easier rule to take the derivative. So if you go to step 2, you will see using exponent rules we've rewritten our function as x to the minus 2. Now we go to step 3, take the derivative using power rule, and we're done. So we don't need quotient rule in this situation. And here's another example where we do have a quotient, but it doesn't really make sense to apply quotient rule. In 1, you see we have a function, x to the 4th plus 3x cubed minus 2x over x squared. Well, we can simplify this, okay, and then apply power rule. Basically, you want to take that denominator, x squared, and divide it into all of the numerator. And you can do that using your exponent rules and simplify. So in step 2, you can see we have simplified our function just using basic exponent rules. Step 3, now we can take the derivative of each term using power rule. We do not need quotient rule. Okay, now I'm going to get into quotient rule, but the reason that we did all of those examples where you don't need it is because I've seen many students use quotient rule where they really don't need to use it, and I wanted to highlight those items. Okay, now let's get into the actual rule. So if you're given a function in the form f divided by g, then to take the derivative with quotient rule, you use the following: gf prime minus fg prime over g squared. That's the rule. Okay, so here we have our example. How do I take the derivative using quotient rule when we have this situation? Okay, so in 1, here's our function. And if you notice, I've labeled the numerator f and the denominator g. Okay? In step 2, you write down what f and g are, and right underneath, write what f prime and g prime are. Those are just the derivatives of f and g. Once you have those 4 parts, you just simply replace them into the rule. And I put the rule on the right just to remind you. Step 3, you can see it's already spelled out for you that I've replaced g and f prime minus f and g prime over g squared. Plug that all into the rule. Step 4, you have to do a little algebra manipulation to simplify, and we're done. And that's quotient rule. Now go practice, practice, and practice some more.